The Simpleton's Guide!
Hello, and welcome to the Simpleton's Guide, because simple is better. Today we'll be talking about the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA, among other things, is in charge of approving new medical drugs and devices. The agency determines which medicines we can buy ourselves, which require a prescription from a doctor, and which cannot be sold to anyone. Before the FDA makes a decision on whether to allow a new drug to be sold, the agency requires a long series of tests, first in the laboratory and eventually on human patients. Unfortunately, these tests tend to be very lengthy and expensive. A new drug can take several years to go through the required process. Some of these tests would be carried out by drug companies even without FDA oversight. Others, however, would not. When those tests are completed, FDA then begins to review them. It's here the FDA can make two types of mistakes. If the FDA approves a drug that later turns out to have unexpected risks, people will suffer. On the other hand, if FDA delays a badly needed drug, people will also suffer. From a medical standpoint, the two mistakes are similar. But from a political standpoint, there's a huge difference. If FDA mistakenly approves a drug, the victim's stories will often be front-page news, and the agency itself will be in huge trouble. On the other hand, if FDA mistakenly delays a badly needed drug, hardly anyone will ever know about the suffering caused by the delay. For this reason, FDA tends to be overcautious in approving new therapies. Now, caution may sound like a good thing, but if you're drowning and some bureaucrat demands to see the paperwork for the life rope that I'm about to throw you, you'll probably be dead by the time I get his okay. In short, for many people, FDA's caution really amounts to deadly overcaution. And the more news stories that appear about how FDA was supposedly too quick in approving a new therapy that was later found to have unexpected risks, the more overcautious FDA will become. New drugs may well carry risks, but the far greater risk is to have no new drugs at all. We don't need to abolish the FDA to solve this problem. In fact, we don't even need to change the FDA standards. All we need to do is remove its veto power. Let's allow doctors to use unapproved therapies so long as their patients are fully informed. For people who trust FDA, nothing would change. They could go on using only FDA-approved drugs and devices. But we'd be creating a new option for patients who, in consultation with their doctors, choose to go beyond the circle of FDA-approved therapies. And I will close with the basic question we should ask whenever we hear that FDA has approved a new life-saving drug. If the drug will start saving lives tomorrow, how many people died yesterday waiting for the FDA to act? The answer, quite simply, is too many. That's been the Simpleton's Guide. Until next time, keep it simple.